What is going on, everybody? We are back once again with another edition of Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast. It is Wednesday, December 4th. I believe that's Jay-Z's birthday. You know, he made a whole song about it on the Black Album. Just saying. Pretty good song. It's pretty cool. But either way, it's a news day here. It's Wednesday. You know what that means. We're going to break down Dynamite at the end of the show here, but we're going to address some news topics along the way. I've got a sweet crew hanging out with me as always. I'm Clark Taylor. I'll be your host today. But let me introduce my friends to you. First and foremost, let's toss this one all the way across the country because I'm on the West Coast. Let's go to the East Coast. Let's go to the DMV. And that's not the Department of Motor Vehicles. That is the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. And it's not Tuesday, it's Wednesday, but get your twos up for the Tuesday Night Delight. Shoddy, what's going on, my friend?
Oh, the deuce is up in the air, man. I'm good. Sean Carter was born on December 4th. I love that. I love that album. I remember buying that album. When my older brother bought the album, but I listened to it a lot on my Walkman in like 2004. I was 11 years old. So yeah, I think we're coming close to, if it's 03 or 04, I want to say it was 04, but like 20th anniversary. So classic album. But yeah, man, we're here, bro. I'm excited to talk about news. It has been a newsworthy day. So let's get right into it, man.
Absolutely. I am with you, by the way. Little known fact about me. I actually went to the final concert, his retirement concert at Madison Square Garden for the Black Album and everything. And I was maybe 13 at most, but I wore maybe the coolest outfit outside of Jay-Z on stage to that event. I wore an Earl the Pearl Monroe Knicks throwback jersey with a backwards Yankee hat. I looked the part perfectly.
Like a real New Yorker, huh? Yo, my dude, don't scuff my Timbs, bro.
It was funny.
I've seen him in 2011. I saw him and Kanye during the Watch the Throne tour. So that was a crazy moment for me. Jay is my favorite rapper of all time. So
I am 100% with you. Let's send this one across the pond though next, because we can't forget about that host of the Soul Sessions, Soul, our good friend over in Scotland. What's going on?
Good as always, brother. It's a big WWE news day, so I will try and give it this my all. I will give it to the effort it deserves because people are being mad for no reason. Then we have Dynamite, Shelton Benjamin, Kyle Fletcher. I know we'll talk about it, but oh boy, I cannot wait for that match. I can't watch Dynamite live because sadly I have to do something that most wrestling fans don't. I have to work and provide for a living instead of living in my mother's basement. So I'm excited to do that. I'm excited to actually provide a living. But nonetheless, we'll get into the show and I can stop insulting people.
Absolutely. I love it. Let's get into the show. We got some comments here. I make beats with Jay-Z. I thought you said JT. My bad. That's actually really funny. And then, hey guys, what's going on? I make beats. Thank you so much for tuning in always. Let's get into our first segment though. Let's talk about the WWE headed to Netflix. Things are changing. Longest running episodic cable television show headed to streaming. Who saw that coming? Probably most people. But that's not here nor there. We're talking about the rating because there was some rumors, maybe some whispers about on a streaming platform and not so much cable, with advertisers being a little bit different and a little bit more targeted these days, potentially heading to a higher rating than this TV PG era that has been so often discussed over the last, decade and a half? I'm not a math guy. I think it's 15 years since we switched to TVPG, about 09. If somebody in the comments knows the exact date, that would be delightful, but no worries either way. It's not changing. Nick Khan makes the announcement. We're sticking with TVPG for now. I'm cool with that. I don't think it's a huge problem. We've seen blood on TV more since Triple H has taken over creative than we ever did during the initial, finger quotes, PG era. This is where we're at. I don't think we need to get more aggressive. The Attitude Era deserves its time and place. I loved it. I grew up on it. I was probably too young to watch it when it was live, but I did, and I enjoyed it. Do we need it back? Probably not. Probably not. Not in today's day and age, unless we want to ruffle a ton of feathers. But who knows if that works or it doesn't. I don't know, Shad. What's your opinion, though? I know you've got strong ones when it comes to this whole rating changing situation, and WWE headed to Netflix. Talk to me about it.
Okay, well, first and foremost, salute to the homie I Make Beats. It is July of 2008 is when the TV ratings change. Look, I need to talk to the wrestling fans that are around my age, maybe a little bit older, maybe a couple years younger. The temperament and expectations that you guys have had is highly just, it's out of reach. Your expectations are just completely out of reach. If you were if you were expecting to see a resurgence or a full-on revival of what we got in the 90s and the 2000s within the Attitude Era and early Ruthless Aggression, it wasn't going to happen, bro. And I don't understand why this is a big deal. I feel like WWE as a product has been hot. It's been thriving. And we got to also just remember the most important aspect of it. Target audience. Target audience is not us all the time. A large portion of the target audience are children, are teenagers, young kids within the 8 to, 14 range, right? You're not going to get that same level of, television that we got back in the day now. And just because it's on Netflix, things aren't going to become super raunchy or whatnot. I know Netflix is a big streaming service where you can find shows that have a lot of cursing, a lot of sexual content and whatnot. But then you also got kids movies and stuff like that. So, I don't understand where the idea that people thought this was going to go back to it being just a full throttle, mature portion of WWE. It wasn't going to happen, and it's not a problem. Let's just pump the brakes. Let's relax. Things are good. Things are great. This is a great opportunity for the future of professional wrestling within being on streaming platforms like Netflix. It's more easy, accessible. Cable television in the United States is a dying breed. People don't use it or have it anymore. So we're progressing into the times. You see it a lot with sports too, with Netflix having a game this past week, with Amazon Prime, all of that, Hulu, Peacock, everything is going into the streaming tunnel, and it makes it easier for people to watch. So for us fans, it is accessible because a lot of people do have Netflix. So I'm excited for the change. Maybe we'll get a little bit more, cutting edge things like you said with the blood, maybe some, sailor words might pop in, but not the big time ones. But it's all good, man. I don't think you need to have that wild range of stuff to make good product.
I am completely in agreement. We've got a great comment here too from I Make Beats. He said, I watched 96 to 03, then again as an adult. I accept it's over. Yeah, I agree. We already talked about Jay-Z earlier today.
I Make Beats is probably around our age range. So
yeah, exactly. And by the way, we mentioned Jay-Z earlier. He may have said it best, right? Want my old stuff. Well, he didn't exactly say stuff, but want my old stuff, buy my old albums, right? For what the Attitude Era was in time and place, it made a ton of sense. I love it. Yeah, absolutely perfect. I'm 33.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I'm turning
Yes,
33
sir.
in June. So yeah, we run the
Monster
same age.
shout out. Yeah, just there's time and place for what the Attitude Era was, and it fit what the late 90s was, and even into the early 2000s as well. It really doesn't fit right now. As much as I would love to see maybe some edgier content, I think honestly, and this is kind of a roundabout thing, Shad, but truthfully, AEW toes the line, I think, a little bit harder when it comes to more adult type stuff than WWE does. And I get that there. Not to the full Attitude Era extent, because that's not what I'm looking for either. But you have both, and I'm cool with having both. It's a non-issue to me.
AEW definitely caters more to an adult audience like ourselves, right? And that's why, I always say, if I'm being unbiased, the two weekly shows I like the most are Dynamite and NXT. And I feel like they are a lot to the audience of us because they have stuff that is tied to what we enjoy. But end of the day, it's nothing like the Attitude Era. It's nothing like WCW. The climate of the world won't let that happen also, y'all. Let's be real. It's
That's so
2024.
This is a great comment, by the way, too. He said, to be honest, I didn't expect Drew versus Punk Hell in a Cell was going to be that good. It was close enough. I agree. That was closer to like what we expect out of a Hell in a Cell, but they also didn't push the boundaries of like, it's disgusting, right? Like,
Yeah,
where
it
like,
wasn't like Triple H and
I don't
Cactus
think
Jack
it would have,
at the Royal Rumble.
you'd have to be pretty stuck in your ways to have watched that match and been like appalled by what happened. So, though, I can't go to this. Matt Williams, I don't think anything is. But so
What's gonna be in the dumps? I've been working for the last 2 hours. I've done an interview of a guest and me, so I'm tired. I'm sorry, I'm groggy. But you know what? This proves as well. Wrestling fans are morons. They can't. This is why wrestling fans say, "I could book it better. I could make a more successful product." No, you can't. You're lying to yourself. You can't do jack. You could not run a successful wrestling business if you tried, but trying for you would be too hard, right? People want the Attitude Era back. Why? Oh, right. It's because you grew up in it and it had the big stars like Triple H, Stone Cold, and The Rock, right? But they're not here anymore. The Rock's a movie star. He ain't coming back. He's never coming back. I don't care what anyone says. Triple H runs the ship now. Stone Cold's retired. Undertaker's retired. Like, they're gone, right? They are gone. You can't have them back. You want the Attitude Era back because that's when they were stars and you grew up with it when you're a wee laddie and your mum and dad gave you attention when you don't anymore, right? That's why you want it back. But you're not getting it back, right? This period of wrestling right now for the WWE is the most financially successful they have ever been. No matter the Attitude Era was the highest viewing figures. This era right now is their most financial, and that's what's more important. Mind you as well, only Raw is going to be on Netflix. They can't just be like, Raw's going to be TVMA, and what's SmackDown? It's going to be for the kids. It's going to be for everybody, right? That would be such a tonal whiplash, more than like Seven or The Happening, right? It's a hell of a tonal whiplash. You can't just jump between all that. So, yeah, I see no problem with it. This is right now they're doing their most financially, and everybody is enjoying the product. Now, because you're not getting what you want and you're not getting what you expected, now you're going to turn coat now and be like, well, I'm not going to, me and my friend Mark are going to stop watching. No, you're not. You're not going to stop watching. You're always going to be watching. You can say you're not going to watch, but you will watch because you're following all the wrestlers on Instagram. You're thirsting over people like Rhea Ripley. You're going to be having the page on your socials and all that. You've even got the John Cena monicum as your little profile picture on Instagram. You're always going to be watching. Don't lie to yourself because that's just being an insulting fact to yourself. So if you have any self-respect, didn't lie to yourself. You will always be watching. No matter the rating, no matter who's on the television, you will always be watching. You'll buy the $5,000 or $500 LA Knight title just for it to be dropped to Shinsuke Nakamura on one pay-per-view, and you're out of $500, and it's still in the way shipping, so you can't even return it or cancel it. You're gonna still watch. I see no problem with it. And hey, if you don't like it and you want it to be a bit more edgy or grimy, go watch GCW. Go watch AEW. There's alternatives. Don't moan and say, "Oh, the one I watch is not doing it," because you're not getting your bra and panties in a mud slat, or Val Venus is getting pee-pee chopped off. You can get what you want from other companies. Didn't be a hypocrite. And
we need to have an episode
drops the hammer at the end there. I'm with you though.
Craziest moments from our.
That was all time. We got all kinds of good comments here. We got Jordan Haynes with, if WWE were to recreate the Attitude Era in this modern day, it wouldn't feel realistic and WWE would slowly die because of it. We got this is the kind of therapy I need for my Make Beats. Love that.
We love it. We're glad you're here, bro.
For the record, mom and dad didn't give me attention back then.
Dog, Matt Williams made me laugh so much yesterday.
Dude, Matt.
That closing comment is one of the funniest comments I've ever read in my life.
No, you got me good.
Timed, bro.
You're on fire lately, bro. No matter what. Yeah,
you know what's funny though to the comment that you had from about if they try to recreate it and it not, it wouldn't be as natural. I totally agree with that. I feel like in anything in life, things change within the times. Music we just literally talked about music, right? You can't recreate a sound of music in today's era where it sounds organic or it sounds good. It sounds like they're trying to copy something. And you watch a show like NXT, they pay homage to moments like that in segments and whatnot. Obviously, with Sean booking it, but even to its credit, it's just kind of like, okay, you're just recreating it, and that's cool. But it's not the same moment. right? Roxanne Perez
Right.
can't be Shawn Michaels, and I love Roxanne Perez. Roxanne Perez should be Roxanne Perez. Like stuff like that, you got to move with the times and do stuff like that. And I think that's the importance. Or if you're gonna remix it well enough. But yeah, people are just overreacting. People saw that Netflix,
Yeah.
and it's
Shad,
not cable TV.
Shad,
It went
wrestling
crazy.
fans overreacting. What are you talking about, me? That's never happened before.
Hey man, the crazy thing, this is just,
They don't even know the word. It's not even their dictionary.
this is just the topic on the news day, bro. So they give us the
So
news. I
true.
talk about the news.
Okay.
I don't. It is what it is.
Speaking of news, though, Shad, obviously you have read the book. You
Yeah.
read the book.
The dictionary?
Mhm.
You were there.
I
No,
don't read much.
Becky Lynch's book. So she appears at the Netflix launch event. Is there basically when they were discussing our last topic as well. There was a lot of speculation, some would say reckless speculation, about Becky Lynch potentially heading elsewhere. That doesn't seem to be the case. I just want your opinion about her appearance at the Netflix event. It seems like she's still carrying that big flag with the 2 W's and the E on the end.
Come on, guys. We look. I hate to do this, man, but I might have to take a little aim at the dirt sheets for a second, because I think one of the funniest notions that the dirt sheets have allowed fans to run with is letting us know contract statuses amongst professional wrestlers. And that's no knock on the dirt sheets. Obviously, your business is your business and you handle that. And if there's engagement for people wanting to know about this stuff, it's there. But when you throw and dish out stuff like that, people's minds just go absolutely berserk, and they want to fantasy book the entire landscape of professional wrestling and play general manager of where wrestlers may go. And obviously, with a talent like Becky Lynch, hey man, she is the greatest women's wrestler of all time. As I've argued, in my opinion, she's a generational talent. But you knew without a shadow of a doubt, her home is the WWE. She has spoke highly about just the love and aspirations and dreams that she's had, going into the WWE when she had the opportunity to do it, and how she's been pushed there, all the relationships she's made. She found her husband there, some of her best friends, all of that, the whole 9 yards, created who she is as a professional wrestler. That wasn't feasible. We knew she was going to eventually come back, but here's the other thing, bro. Y'all got to understand, these are normal people at the end of the day.
No.
This woman is a wife.
Real lives.
This woman is a mother. Okay. She had a daughter during the peak of a pandemic and during her being a champion, came back, and she wants to cherish and spend this time with her kid, right? Like that, even if she wasn't to come back to wrestling, she's do that. But do I think she's going to come back? Yeah, I think she's going to come back to the WWE. Whether it's on a full-time landscape or whether it's part-time, who knows? That's on her at the end of the day.
Are you saying it's still real to you, damn it? It's still real to you?
I'm in 100% agreement, though, Shad, because here's the thing. I would love her to be the Louisville Lip, Cassius Clay, Muhammad Ali, the greatest, and shake up the world and do something funky. But to your point, her husband is at the top of the card.
Yeah.
In WWE. She's just had a child. To make that move, to go elsewhere, is a big ask. It just is, right? Like, to put it simply, it's a huge ask.
Dude, here's the thing, right? So people gave a lot of crap to Samantha Irvin leaving the WWE and letting go of the aspirations of being a ring announcer because she has other aspirations outside of pro wrestling, whatever it may be. Say her aspirations were, I need to be near my husband because we have a family. I want to be able to see him more regularly. I don't want to have to travel on 2 different schedules. She's owed that. And if Becky, like anybody is owed that at the end of the day, and nobody can hate on them on that.
I also thought Ricochet said it best when it came to the Samantha Irvin situation, though. He said, "What if Whitney Houston was stuck as a ring announcer her entire career? What if the next Whitney Houston was?" Right?
That's true.
And that's what she wants to chase. And that's Samantha
Yeah.
had. He even mentioned that she had been talking about it for a long time. He gave more out than she has yet in interviews, which is fair enough. But if you listen to his interview with Van Vliet, he's very clear about she's been talking about this for a long time and chasing the musical stuff. She was writing musical notes in her notes for how she'd pronounce names, but that's her real passion is music.
We first caught whim of Samantha Johnson on America's Got Talent, like or The Voice or whatever one of those shows were. Like her aspirations is in music. You know, the WWE stuff
Yes.
just came abruptly to her, and she flourished and she shines. She's one of one. She's probably, you know, one of the best since a lot of announcers prior to it, since someone who just came and took over her reign because they had to replace her with that big of a void. We were comparing her to Lillian Garcia, and the only person that could replace her is actually Lillian Garcia.
I was comparing her to the Buffers, to be honest.
It's funny. Like, I mean, I'll even say myself, like, you know, I mean, you guys know what I do real life, but I won't say because I keep it separate. But like,
Yes.
if AEW or WWE came to me and said, "Hey, we want you to come work for you," I wouldn't. I have a career that I really enjoy and I work very hard for. I wouldn't give it up because even though this is a passion, this is a hobby, and I love to do it. And look, if I could work for WWE, AEW, or even TNA, that would be a very big privilege. But I wouldn't sacrifice it for something I am passionate about. I worked for, and that's what I get with Samantha Irvin. And like, if you're an idiot if you seriously thought Becky Lynch was leaving WWE. You're an idiot.
Yeah.
Yes. So sorry, I'm on the late camera cut there. I'm speaking of camera cuts, I got to talk to everybody about something here really fast. You're watching the show. We know that you're a wrestling fan. You've exposed yourself. It's too late. We know it. And you haven't checked out Demand Progress Plus yet? Please do, because this is one of the best tape libraries on the entire internet, anywhere you can find one. And not only that, we're going to give you a deal. You're going to want to use this code Watch Progress 1. That's 50% off your first month on Demand Progress Plus, the home of Progress Defy, many more promotions, tons of your absolute favorites are all over this library. The new product is off the charts every chapter. It just gets better and better and better. One more time on that code. That's Watch Progress 1. That's 50% off. That's half off for those of you that prefer fractions like myself. Let's move on to our next segment, though. Let's talk about another Saturday night main event. So we've got one coming up right here. We know it. It's about to happen. We're going to see it soon. Next thing you know, the deal sounded like it was going to be a quarterly thing. So like every 4 months, right? No, we're getting 2 in this quarter. 2 of them. More than one. Not one, but 2. Saturday night main events. Didn't necessarily expect this to become like a flagship type brand for the WWE again for the first time in 30, 40 years. We've done some throwbacks. Saturday night's main events prime was the 80s through 95. If you really think about it, we had it as a special in even me and Shad's childhood, right? And I make beats and Matt Williams as well, same age growing up, right? Like we had a couple Saturday night main events, but it was really actually the generation before us that this was the feature presentation when it came to WWF at the time programming. We're getting 2 now. Seems like they're trying to really make a thing of this. Soul, I want to get your opinion out of the gates on this. Multiple Saturday night main events. Is this going to be something that they really, really push?
I mean, if anything, it just shows that WWE is doing so well that there is such a demand for a product, and that's fine in itself. Yeah, it's cool that they're doing another one so soon. I think it just shows that they're doing so well. I know they've been backing down on live events, live event tours. Maybe Saturday night main event will be the replacement for that. Maybe one every 3 months, or maybe that's the way we want to do it. Or I don't know, maybe once a month if they really, really want to. This is like a little special for television, obviously with NBC and Peacock. It's the way they want to do the relationship. Yeah, I mean, hey, it just shows that WWE is doing well. That's all I can really say on it.
100%. It's fascinating to me because it's basically the same time slot as the PLEs these days. A lot of them are on Saturdays, unless you have the 2-dayers, right? The days of the Sunday pay-per-view, the Sunday night before you go to the work on Monday is gone.
A lot of it is network wise too, like just with NBC wanting probably more more of product out there, more content. Yeah. I mean, I'm not opposed to it, really. I'm one of the few people that complain about more wrestling to watch just because I'm a fan of it and it's great to watch. I know some people are not as adamant on it, right? They may not like it as much, but I mean, more wrestling, the better as a wrestling fan. And then, this is where it does benefit having Saturday Night Main Event, though. I'll tell y'all this, that we have more titles. We have those 2 new additional women's titles that are mid-card titles. Mm-hmm. Now you can create opportunities where it used to be like where we had brand splitted pay-per-views. Well, now you can give these type of matches, maybe the women's IC title match or the US title match or the men's US title or IC title match get to be a main event spectacle on a Saturday night main event where it may not be on the quarterly pay-per-view,
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's where it's funny to me because I think you made a great point about the network relationship thing, right? So they're going over to Netflix with Raw to maintain a relationship with NBC because the network is staying on Peacock for the time being in the United States, which is still a big market despite what Ben says. And that is a shot at you, Ben, if you're listening right now. We're still a pretty big market, buddy.
Hey, yo, Ben, you got to clip that, bro.
I'm just saying. And I'm
to America.
I do appreciate the throwback vibe they've given it, even down to the music. It's a nice touch. I agree. And then he said, I do remember it, and my dad watching 80s wrestling on VHS and stuff. Yeah, VHS and stuff. Yes, I was in the same exact boat growing up watching the VHS tapes. Anyone you can get your hand on. We were tape traders from way back. Absolutely, like get some good 80s stuff that you hadn't seen.
What about main event? Is that still
so that is something that's interesting. Kobe brought that up yesterday, and I was actually gonna bring that up too once again. That does still exist, and it's basically the same aesthetic as far as the logo is concerned.
And the blue
that
and the red
desperately needs to
I gotta ask, do you think we're possibly heading in a dangerous oversaturation point? With how much?
I don't believe so. So here's the thing. I think oversaturation is an exaggeration because could you imagine if we ever looked at like movies or television as being oversaturated or music or like other forms of entertainment as being oversaturated? I think the demand will, the demand is what causes the amount of product, right? The demand may not be every single person that watches every single show. And that's fair. And I think that's a hard thing for wrestling fans to grip because for such a long time, there was basically one to watch. You either watched one, right? There was like 2 categories. You either watched one or you watched the one and everything else. And you stuck your nose up at the people that only watched the one. That was a 20-year span in this industry, right?
Yep.
But compared to everything else, I don't think oversaturation is a problem. I think now the fact that there are choices and there is the opportunity to watch what you prefer is better for everybody. And you know who it's best for? The people that have always watched everything. And the funniest part to me is that seems like the group, though, that seems to complain from time to time. And I'm like, what are you complaining about? We were begging for this. For 20 years, we were dogs when somebody says treat out loud. Like it was, we were foaming at the mouth for this. Why complain now? Right? This is what we've always wanted. When we only had 2 choices, WCW and WWE, as far as the States were concerned in the 90s, that was delightful. The Monday Night Wars were delightful.
Plus, to that point, and I think that's kind of the nail on the coffin point, but it's coming at a good time in regards to programming because, again, United States of America, baby, the king of the world is American football, NFL, college football. that's going to end soon. We're a couple months away for it being a wrap for the season. So wintertime, early 2025, Mondays will be more visible. We're right at a perfect time for Netflix. People will be able to watch it more. I don't care too much about ratings as much as others care about it. I don't, keep the, charts and the graphs in my office area to see how many numbers Raw is doing on the views, but it will be beneficial for it. And then, like you said, Saturdays, Sundays, there isn't that college football to watch. There isn't that NFL football to watch. You don't have to run, and that goes for AEW and that goes for WWE. More people are going to be proud to watch programming on those days, so that's going to be nice.
Well, I mean, and to your point, it's funny because I've noticed this now. I truly believe right this second is the best time ever in my lifetime. I'm 33. I was born in 91 to be a professional wrestling fan. And I lived through the Monday Night Wars and they were great. But wrestling right now is the coolest it's ever been because for the first time in my life, all of a sudden you get people like, I saw Cody Rhodes on this show. What's up with that? I saw Roman Reigns on this. What's up with this new AEW thing on TBS and TNT, right? Like, what are they doing? What's going on with, I saw the billboard for Mania in Vegas. I saw this. I saw that. You used to have to do you'd make a wrestling reference that no one would catch, but you'd use it in context. So it's funny. And then all of a sudden they'd be like, wait a minute, you watch too? You watch Raw? Right? Like that's how you made wrestling friends. Now you can just actively be a wrestler. You can wear a wrestling shirt and it's all good. And it is absolutely the best time to be a professional wrestling fan right this second. I truly believe that.
For sure. I definitely agree.
And I'm proud of it. I've always been proud, right? I rocked my NWO shirt to school back in the day. And I actually had a teacher that got freaked out, and my Wolfpack shirt, she told me I had to change. So my mom had to bring me a new t-shirt. It was ridiculous. Wild.
Sweet logo.
No worries. I make beats, by the way. No, I love this.
You good, man.
He's with us here. And then agreed, and not because of Dwayne Johnson. And we basically had the same experiences. That is wild. Sorry, I was spamming chat. You have not at all.
No apologies, bro.
No apology accepted because it was totally unnecessary.
Yeah. So it's dope, man. I'm glad that you enjoy pro wrestling in totality, man. That's all of us in this stream right now. We watch literally all of it as much as we can too. So wrestling is dope, man. And people like y'all, like fans like you, fans like us is what allows us to even do what we're doing on a weekly basis, giving us stuff to talk about daily on Wrestling Republic.
Absolutely. Let's keep it rolling, though.
Let's talk about AEW, man.
It's Soul's time to shine. Honestly, I actually want to give this one to Soul. Soul, do you want to just preview it for us? I'm going to let you introduce the segment. How about that?
You're very kind, Clark. Don't know why you've given me this honor, but it's a very blessed one. Thanksgiving just came, so I'm thankful for Clark and his opportunity to do this. Yeah, of course, we have two Continental Classic matches, one from the Blue League, one from the Gold League. The Blue League is Shelton Benjamin versus Kyle Fletcher. The Gold League is Brody King versus Casanoli of the Death Riders. We have Swerve Strickland versus Matt Caster, Anna Jay versus Penelope Ford. We have Pac versus Jay White. We then are going to be hearing from Jamie Hayter, and we also, of course, have the AEW Dynamite Dozen Battle Royale for the AEW Dynamite ring, which MJF has won for the last 5 years. I'm happy with the card. I think Pac and Jay White will be a good wrestling match. Kyle Fletcher and Shelton Benjamin are going to steal the show. Claudio and Brody will be a very interesting match. Swerve and Max is obviously build up Max, I think, accepting the MVP card and dissolving the Acclaimed. Anna Jay, Penelope Ford. I think Anna Jay is going to be the one to dethrone Mercedes Moné. I truly am on board with that right now. I think they're really behind her, and I think she'll be a good rising star to fully take the title off Mercedes Moné. Jamie Hayter, I think, is going to build with Julia Hart. The Dynamite Dozen Battle Royale, though, is interesting. Will they maybe do a dirty finish of Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly hitting the floor at the same time, meaning that a final match for the ring will have to be a triple threat between MJF, Kyle, and Adam? Maybe. I don't know. I'm interested to see who's actually going to be in the Battle Royale. But nonetheless, I think it's going to be a fun episode of Dynamite. But nonetheless, people are going to complain about it otherwise because that's what the internet does.
Here's one thing I'm going to say about this Dynamite Diamond Ring thing. If Max doesn't win a 6th Dynamite Diamond Ring and they don't do the Michael Jordan 6 rings picture with Max, it is the biggest whiff of Tony Khan's career. If they don't go full MJ, 6 rings,
They've only ever
how
done
do
one
you
ring,
mess
though.
that up?
They've only ever done one ring. It's not like a Super Bowl ring where you get 6.
I know, but they can still do the picture. It's fine. Pull the wool over our eyes. Start whipping out new rings. Have him with the picture with 6. Just on a t-shirt doing the exact MJ pose as just like an in your face would be so funny. It's the most MJF heelish, like mocking the Michael Jordan picture. It's freaking golden. They have to do that. It has to happen.
All right.
I've just thought of it for so long. I'm like, dude, this one, like that, the big pose, ring on each finger,
happen.
like, and the big old smirk. Oh man, it's a killer. But honestly, it's like you said, it is a stacked card for tonight. Shad, I'm going to give you your shot to break down. What are you looking forward to the most besides the 6 rings picture, which I don't think is paid off tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for the Battle Royal. I'm curious to see if we get a little bit of a change up. Maybe Adam Cole or Kyle O'Reilly, end up getting it. I think that is a strong possibility to kind of continue the storyline that we're having with him and MJF. But I'm excited. It's Continental Classic season, bro. It is Continental Classic season. And I'm just looking at the matchups between a Shelton Benjamin and Kyle Fletcher first and foremost. My goodness. If Tony Khan wanted to book a match for me, this is the match for me because I am here to publicly say it, bro. Kyle Fletcher, King Kyle Fletcher, put respect on the King. King Kyle Fletcher is my favorite AEW wrestler at the moment. I think this kid has a little bit of young Randy Orton from Evolution in him, bro. And that is a lot of high regards to somebody, but I see the potential. This dude is going to take the world of pro wrestling by storm in a couple of years, man. He's got a sense of charisma that he's just picked up, but the in-ring ability and all of that is great. But Shelton Benjamin, if there was a bigger, just misconception that we thought this dude may have been possibly washed a few years ago. Nuh-uh, bro. He found a fountain of youth and more. Like, he destroyed the whole damn well of the fountain of youth and is just drinking of it because it looks like a brand new career, and he's absolutely killing it. I think that match is going to be a TV classic, hard-hitting. I don't even know who's going to win it. Like, for real. Like,
the coolest part to me about this Continental Classic bracket is almost every match, and we saw it in the outset of the tournament, right? Like, Brody King beat Darby Allin, who literally ended the show standing tall, essentially, at the pay-per-view. Like, dude, what are the odds of that? Upsets happen here. Ricochet lost to Claudio via a lariat, like a Stan Hansen lariat. I mean, anything can happen in this tournament.
Brody King Claudio is going to be crazy too.
Crazy.
Crazy.
Well, I mean, I can't wait till the Beast Mordos gets involved. I mean, the Beast Mordos is going to wrestle as well. Like,
the Beast Morty is definitely a guy with a mask, but he can wrestle. Yo,
rest in peace, the one that Carter bought.
I gotta say this though, Swerve Strickland, please belt to booty, bro, because I can't say the A word in here. I don't think so. Belt to booty. You better piss down that boy's leg, man. I don't want to hear another rap come out of his mouth after this match. Swerve, if you were watching this, because I'm pretty sure you do watch it because you're a Wrestling Republic fan. Yes. Destroy him. Leave no prisoners.
We've also got Chris
Leclerc versus Anna Jay is a match for me.
Chris Leclerc in the comments with Anna Jay. Yeah, I'm excited for Ford and Jay. No question. That's going to be a great match.
I told you all. Hey, that's an NXT match. It's an
But-
NXT match.
But at the same time, though, one that we didn't fully talk about. Hang on, I'm going to do this. Soul left and returned. But we've got so our main event is Pac and Jay White, which is a Ken Griffey Jr. 97 slugfest if I've ever seen one. I mean, come on, what more can you ask for there? I hope this is a bell-to-bell classic because those two stylistically, you've got the methodical approach of Jay White, right? Kind of strike Cobra-like, right? How quick he is in and out and everything. Then you have Pac, who is built like a fire hydrant, flies like a feather, and stings like a bee, like all day long. And so I think this is one that we talk about for weeks. Like, and I've said this about Pac since he's been in AEW. He is the most unsung hero. We never say pillars. We never say, okay, who had the best match with Kenny Omega out of the gates on Dynamite? Oh yeah, that's Pac. Like, who has adapted everywhere along the way, whether it be being stuck in the UK during the pandemic and coming back, whether it be working as a part of Death Triangle. No matter where you put this dude, he's off the charts. And thank goodness we don't have to call him Neville anymore. That's all I'm saying. Like, he's not a Harry Potter character. Stop it. Neville, they saddled the bastard Pac with Neville. It's the worst thing the WWE ever did to a wrestler. Like, that guy is not Neville.
They gave him a cape. I mean, that's something.
He's really special, man. He's definitely like one of those guys that I don't even know. Sometimes I feel like just because he's not on the forefront, on the top of the card, you forget how damn good he is. Yeah. And you see him wrestle, you're like, God, that man is amazing. That man is amazing. It's like,
dude, I think Pac being the part of the Death Riders is one of the best decisions.
Yeah.
Recently, just because it gives them something to work off with and look.
He fits them perfectly too.
Him and Marina fit.
He fits the Death Riders perfectly. The Brutalizer, it's the
Claudio
Rings of Saturn,
Wheeler,
but more
not
violent.
As much for me, but those two definitely do.
The Brutalizer is the Rings of Saturn, but more violent. And Perry Saturn might be the most underrated from the ECW, WCW class ever. Remember, he was in the Radicals. Let's not forget. Perry Saturn was a stud before we got Moppy and all that BS. But we've also got this
Jay White
comment. Yes.
Jay White, we got to give him his props. It seems like we have finally found, Jay White has found a footing in AEW. He's out of the whole multi-man, mess, and he's kind of reminding us. Now, when he's heel, oh my God.
Yeah.
We get the heel Jay White.
We don't need that just yet. We've got enough heels. Come on now. We've got enough heels in AEW.
Oh my God. He's so good at the heel.
Whatever happened to AEW heels like that they used to advertise? Wasn't that like the women's fan group?
It's the all women's thing. They still do it.
Yeah, they still do it.
That's like really ran about Brandy or what?
It was ran by Brian. It was ran by Brandy and I think Vicky Guerrero, but now it's ran by Amanda Huber and Audrey Evers, I think.
That's right. That is correct.
Either
way,
I'm excited for this. Obviously, Juice Robinson being out of injury. Now we've got Commander in the Continental Classic. I think that's fine. I've seen people complain. Why wasn't it Buddy Matthews? Like, remember, people have to take losses in these things. You need a fall guy. You don't want to put Buddy Matthews in there. And
Commander's a hoop.
Commander's gonna be amazing. Like,
I know nobody says.
Yeah, on this comment,
about
feel like we haven't enough Pac matches this year. Wasn't he hurt in the beginning of the year? That's the only thing.
Yes, he was hurt in the beginning of the year because of the match with Claudio at Ring of Honor.
Then it's Commander is replacing him.
Commander's probably one of the best luchadors on AEW. Like, no joke. Like, he's not too far off. Like, Beast Mortos. In my humble opinion, I think Commander's better than Hologram. I think he's got a more practical style of professional wrestling that's more full. Like,
I do think he fits the AEW style better.
He's playing the Ricochet role in WWE because he's an incredible dance partner and he makes people look really good. But the dude's moveset is practical, but he still has the ability of being a high flyer. Like, the dude is really talented. I don't think like AEW fans or wrestling fans appreciate how damn good the guy is. Like, he's definitely a baller, man.
Absolutely. Okay, by the way, though, that does bring us to the end of the show. We appreciate, seriously, everyone that commented. If you haven't liked and subscribed, thank you. so much. That means the world to us. We will talk to everybody soon. Tomorrow, same time, same place. That's noon Pacific. That's, of course, 3 o'clock on the East Coast. That's 8 in the UK and 9 a.m. for my friends in Hawaii. Thank you so much. We will talk to everybody soon. Have an excellent Wednesday and enjoy Dynamite tonight.